Hiya! I just wanted to speak to you today about wraps per inch. So we were talking about this in the Craft and Chatter group this morning, the Zoom group, and I realised that actually it's probably something that's going to be useful to a lot of people. So let's do a quick live on it. So let me just swap the camera around. Okay, so when you're sometimes faced with a random piece of yarn and you can't remember what the ball band was, or maybe you've picked it up in a charity shop or a friend's given it to you and it doesn't say on it what weight of yarn it is, how do you figure out what pattern it will work with and that sort of thing? It's a really, really dead easy way, and it's called wraps per inch, and really all you need is a ruler. So I'm just going to stand my phone up. There we go. So it really is so easy. All you do is just wind the yarn around the ruler. Ooh, not over the top of itself, sort of next to itself, and squidge it up together. Sorry, it's not focusing. Hang on. There we go, that's better. So wind it up until you've filled an inch of your ruler, like that. So everything's laying neatly next to each other, but not over the top, and just count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So that shows, let me just pick up my camera again. So I've got Ravelry has one definition, and there's another one here which is actually far better. So 11, it's a worsted or an Aran weight yarn, which this is, because I know that this is Lhoso. So I know that this is an Aran weight yarn. So it means that you can then, to look for an Aran weight pattern and that sort of thing. But what about if you're needing to mix different yarns in your project? So for example, you're doing a shawl or a sweater and you want to do a fade. You've got a variety of different yarns, but you don't know what to put with them. So I've got two commercial yarns here. They're both West Yorkshire spinners. This is their Colour Lab and this is the Wensleydale Fleece. As you can see, they both say double knit on them. But if I show you this, you see how thick those are. And if you look at how thick these are, there's actually a big difference in how thick they are. And that has a massive effect on your gauge. And it's to do with the fact that Wensleydale is actually a heavy fleece. But you'll find this if you're using a mixture of wools and acrylics or something like that. So all you do is, again, you can even do this whilst it's still skeined up or whilst it's still in the ball. Let me stand this up again. And literally just poke, sort of grab a selection of the fibres and just put your ruler through. Make sure that once again they're all laying neatly next to each other rather than on top of each other. It's just going to take me a second just to fiddle these round. I think we've got a few too many there. So, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably need a couple more. There we are. So, oh no, I think we probably even need one more than that, but I'll just add one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and we probably need a 16th there. So if we go back to my we go back to here, you can see 16 would be a sport weight yarn, which is sort of halfway between a double knit and a 4-ply. So if you were trying to use this in your project alongside this one, which you can see is going to be larger and is probably closer to about a 12 stitch per inch, you would see that the number of your gauge would be vastly different to how in using one yarn to in using the other. So you need to make sure whenever you're swapping yarns round, so there we go, that's about an inch there. So if we count these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you can, so you can see 11 there, 16 there, that this is a much thinner yarn, and so it wouldn't work alongside using the same needles. So yeah, so that's why, as well as doing your gauge, if you're going to be swapping yarns, or if you're not quite sure, you've got a leftover ball and you're not quite sure what it is, do a wraps per inch. If you just go on Google, you will find a list of wraps per inch. I'm also going to stick one up on the You Felty Thing website this evening, so that you can access it and then find out exactly how best to use your yarns. So I hope that was helpful. If you found it helpful, then please stick a comment in. Let me know if there's any other tips that you would like some help with, and have a good evening.